So originally I wasn't planning on making a video today because I'm traveling. I'm in Taiwan at the moment, heading to Korean Blockchain Week. But I figured that because this is such a big deal, I have to get it out there. You guys have to see this. So if you didn't know, the SEC, this was on the 17th. This is fresh news here. They instated ways to fast track your ETF approval. And about 10 cryptocurrencies on the planet are able to actually qualify for this kind of stuff. Now, some people say it's 12, this depends on your perspective. Shout out to Tata for the information here. But if you list it onto Coinbase derivatives, then you had a good shot on getting your ETFs. You needed about 6 months of ETFs to qualify. And so many different cryptocurrencies didn't get Coinbase derivatives because remember Coinbase, biggest US exchange, very important to get actually listed here. But we see here, we've got Doge, we had Bitcoin Cash. Who cares about Bitcoin Cash? Litecoin, Link, XLM, AVAX, SHIB, Sol. And check this out. We got HBAR, XRP, Cardano, but HBAR is the big one here because that's what we're talking about in this video. Now, it started trading on February 18th, 2025. And so to be eligible for an ETF, this happened last month. And so this is why I've been talking about the fact that the likelihood of us actually getting an ETF is quite high for the fall because of the fact that we have finally hit the 6-month mark for ETFs. Now, this is going to be like the next big retail wave. If you didn't know, about 75% of all retail ETF inflows are done on these ETFs. There's a lot of retail interest when it comes to ETFs. The misconception that I feel like people have is they think that these ETFs are going to magically bring tons of institutions. The truth is, you're kind of right, but you're right in a different sense. The logic here is that these ETFs are going to bring a lot of volume. They're going to bring a lot of interest. And then we're going to get what's called a DAT. A DAT is a digital asset treasury. So these treasury companies that are buying billions of dollars, one of them is MicroStrategy, Michael Saylor's company. They have over $40 billion worth of Bitcoin. The other one is Tom Lee's. He has a company called BitMine, which right now has about $9 billion worth of Ethereum. These are the things that actually get the price moving. And if you don't believe me, I'm actually going to show you 2 charts that have been directly pumping as a result of not ETFs, but actually these digital asset treasury companies announcing that they may very well do billions of dollars worth of raises and buybacks. So one of them is Avalanche. So Avalanche actually had this big pump. They actually went to about $33. Pretty big pump here for Avalanche. Over the past year, they finally have gotten their stuff together and are starting to move in a positive manner. The reason is because they had recently announced that the Avalanche Foundation seeks to raise about $1 billion here on a publicly traded company. That's a big deal. It's $1 billion that's going to be directly buying an asset that right now is worth only $13 billion. That's a big deal. It's going to make the price go up a lot. And it already has over the past month. AVAX is up 42%. That's a big move for AVAX. This is also one of those cryptocurrencies that are eligible for an ETF. And the other one that pumped massively was Solana. Solana originally, their pump looks like it was stagnating. It didn't look very good for them. But then Galaxy Digital announced that they had a $1.65 billion raise to directly buy Solana. And now the cryptocurrency is up 31%. This is a crypto at $130 billion. And so if we got the same thing on HBAR, one can assume that while ETFs will be a big deal, the actual mover will be the digital asset treasury companies when we actually get these digital asset treasury companies. And so what you want to do is, of course, position for the ETFs, but even more importantly, wait for a DAT to be announced. Wait for a digital asset treasury company to come into the fray, get billions of dollars raised, and make the markets move. This is when the institutions are actually going to become interested, when a DAT is there. Because if a DAT can get a certain amount of the supply with the MicroStrategy huge treasury, they got $40 billion worth of Bitcoin. It's actually not a lot of Bitcoin supply, but if you added all the ETFs, it does start to add up big time. And so they've done the same thing with Ethereum. With Ethereum, they want to get as much of that supply out there. And so what we want to do is the same exact playbook. If HBAR does the same playbook, then this crypto is going to go to the moon. Simply put, it's going to go to the moon. Your original thesis for HBAR might be the fact that, this is the institutional coin. This is that coin that these institutions are going to ape into, and it's going to be great. But the bigger thesis here, at least for this bull market, if we're being more immediate, is ETFs and DATs. These are the 2 things that are actually going to get the price moving. You could talk about the tech all day. You could talk about how exciting it is. But we're not really here to talk about that. You came to this channel because you wanted to see my perspective on how this crypto is going to do, or where I think this crypto is going to go, as someone that's actually holding the crypto and actually talks about it. And that's my perspective. If you're in the ecosystem and you were asking me the way to position, a month ago I would have told you, meme coins are doing pretty well. Now, I have a totally different perspective. My perspective evolves as the chain evolves. Right now, I'm all into utility. The fact is that there are some pretty big cryptocurrencies that are launching, and there's a lot of reasons that liquidity is flowing into cryptos. One of the reasons that we might have a big run in Q4 is this right here. So this is $16 billion that is earmarked for FTX creditors still. So we got about $16 billion that the Sam Bankman-Fried guy owes to people still, and is still set to actually become a thing. That's a very big deal. And institutional investors are becoming more bullish than they have ever been. The average funding spread jumped 20 basis points. That is a huge deal for the amount of people that are actually going ahead and thinking that we're going to be going up. I mean, more and more people in the institutional side are actually putting their big bets in to say that we are going to be going up. And Altcoin Daily put it pretty well here. He put a couple people on board. Brian Armstrong, shiny bald head man, is one of those people. And so he said that, we could see millions of dollars worth of Bitcoin. And I agree. I think a lot of people are very short-sighted. And we've seen the market prove it time and time again with a fresh cryptocurrency called Aster gaining a ton of prominence. I mean, this is the craziest run that we've had on a coin in a while, 1,800% in what feels like a very short period of time. It's in the last 7 days, it's ran up 1,800%. It's because CZ Binance decided to talk about it. This is a coin that CZ, the founder of Binance, has talked about. He never does a stop. And this right here is going to be a big deal for cryptocurrencies like HBAR. And the reason for it is because for the first time this cycle, we haven't really seen this yet. I know we saw it a bit when the presidential nomination happened and we had this big run in crypto at the end of last year. But when it comes to right now, as we are speaking, this stuff is a massive deal. We need liquidity. Liquidity is when fresh money is flowing. When we have the money flowing, then times are good. This is exactly what we need. We need wins on the utility coin side. And so Aster is literally kind of the same thing as Hyperliquid. They're a decentralized exchange and they're making money off fees and they're buying back their coin. If people bought into this coin, they made a ton of money and they end up rolling it over to other cryptocurrencies, that's going to create natural interest for utility coins and not meme coins. We've been waiting this entire cycle for a moment where meme coins become less important. And in my humble opinion, the current market for meme coins is these things called creator capital markets, which is like people like me deciding to create a meme coin. I had a lot of people commenting and they were like, oh, are you going to do the pump fund coin? Are you going to launch this coin? And I didn't end up doing it because one, I think that it's just a max extraction event. All it's going to happen is fees come to me, I make some money, and then everybody gets used. That's like, it's the most short-sighted thing you can ever do in a market. But the second reason is I don't think it's a sustainable model at all. There's no reason to hold a coin after the coin's created. You might as well just rug it. So meme coins kind of have no staying power. In fact, since the creation of Pump Fund, that's the primary engine to create meme coins, there's only one meme coin that's above $1 billion, and that's Fart Coin, a coin called Fart Coin. It's the only coin out of all the meme coins in the world that was launched on Pump Fund that is above $1 billion. So people have been burnt, they've been extracted, they've been farmed, they've been bundled, they've been, whatever you want to phrase it, they have been taken advantage of in the meme coin markets. And we have needed an injection into utility coins for a very long time. The reason we haven't had the HBAR run that you have been imagining is because of the fact that there's been no liquidity injection into alts. We need liquidity injection for alts. We need a narrative, a story for people to believe to get these alts running again. You can have the best technology in the world, but if no one uses it, there's no point in having it. That's just how the world works. So we need to have a story, marketing-wise, to get these coins moving. And so I thought this was very interesting. Now, I'm not saying that you should buy Aster. In fact, I don't even own this coin, so please don't take this as some kind of like endorsement or anything. But I do think that this is a big deal because it represents the first big win that we've had in utility coins this year, pretty much. I mean, what other big win did we have in the utility coin world other than hype? Aster is the second one. And so hopefully here, this is going to lead to more liquidity, and that's going to lead to ETFs. It's going to lead to positive perception. If the positive perception is there, more people bring in volume or get institutions through DATs. That's going to be the story for an HBAR that's over $1. That's the only way this coin goes over $1. It's not going to go over $1 if people don't believe in the narrative, if people don't care about utility coins, if the ETFs never happen. It's just not going to happen. It's just the truth of the matter, and it's the hard, blunt truth. So it's looking good right now. It's not going to look good forever. So now's the time to position. Now's the time to lock in. And now's the time to kind of just close everything out for like a month and just watch everything unfold. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you enjoyed the information. Still on travel, so we'll see when I get to my destination. But stay classy, and I'll see you all later.